morning, everybody. Morning, dear listeners, auditors of Centrale FM. We are today on a special day, and for the count of this morning, we hope we are very happy, very proud to have you in number on our radio channel this morning. We are very happy once again, and this morning we get a given honor to receive a given guest here in our studios of Central FM. He comes from United States of America. And good morning, doctor.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very fine.
Okay.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you very much. We are very happy. Okay, can you one more time present yourself for our auditors?
Just very quickly, I'm an American author of more than 156 books on all topics in the social sciences, the natural sciences, the social sciences, and the humanities, ultimately to unify all domains of human knowledge.
Okay.
I have proposed more than 122 different new theories and visions of the human future.
Okay.
And I have been in more than 100 different countries
Yep.
around the world
Yeah.
in order to understand humanity on the ground from my observations and understanding of the entire universe.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. The second question is that what can be the duties of a citizen?
It depends on your political ideology. For example, in some countries, let's say in China,
Yep.
you are supposed to serve in the army. That's not voluntary, that is required.
Yep.
But in the US, for example, that's voluntary. You are not required
Yep.
to serve in the armies, but if you want to, you are welcome to join,
Nice.
assuming that you have the physical qualifications and some other qualifications. So it depends on what you define as a citizen based on the political ideology. If you are a conservative, if you are a leftist, well, it does make a difference in terms of how you look into the requirements. What do you need to do? So if you are, let's say, on the right spectrum of the political ideology, then you probably say something which is very conservative. If you are on the left spectrum, for example, you are going to say something which can be quite active in terms of government activities.
Yep.
So it depends on which ideology that you have
You
to
are
answer the
about
question. So this is not a value-free question. It's a
Okay.
value-charged question.
Large.
It depends on you
Thank you.
and the
very
country
much.
and the culture and the society.
Nice. Then it depends upon the given society. A given society. It depends upon this given society.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. We remark that today in Africa here, during, after, or even before the elections of Republic presidents, there are some troubles here and there. Some wars here and there. How can a citizen maybe claim his, all those rights? Because citizens think that it's not good. Maybe the one who has been chosen is not normally meant to be chosen, but he is the one, or it has been robbed or something like that. How, in which manner, doctor, here with your experiences, you can suggest that the citizen can ask his independence and that?
Okay.
Yeah.
As an American, I have to be very careful not to intervene into the domestic affairs of your own country. But I will answer your question anyway, but as a professor, as a scholar, but not as a political activist.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to pinpoint which party I support or which politician I support or I endorse. I'm
Yeah.
not going to do that. But I'm quite aware of the problems over here and the troubles. I was here in the last few
Yeah.
weeks, so I witnessed that. So I can only say something more general in the sense that this question is to be answered in terms of the African context
Yeah.
of the Togolese culture in this case. The culture here in Togo and by the same logic in Africa, in many parts of Africa, because I've been in more than 25 different African countries already.
Okay.
There is a tradition in African countries, including Togo, that once you are in power, you do not want to share too much of your power
Yeah.
with the opposition. In some other countries, for example, you need to compromise and share power. But sharing is not a tradition in African political culture. I'm talking about, especially in this case, Togo and some other countries. But I'm not talking about, let's say, in some other African countries, let's say in North Africa, in Southern Africa. That's another issue that we can talk about. So this is not necessarily a bad thing, but it can be a bad one. It depends, again, on the ideology, which political position that you stand. If you are on the opposition, then of course you don't like those who are in power. But if you're on the side of those who are in power, then of course you want to keep the power forever. So this is a question of your political interest. Now, can you have a compromise in between? I don't think that there is a universal political system. I do think that different countries have different political cultures such that they behave in a certain way. Some people like to protest on the street. In some other countries, for example, in China or in Japan, they don't protest too much, even in Japan. So it depends. Getting violent in protest and shooting and all that, it depends also on the political culture. So again, there's no universal culture that you can say, oh, this is the standard everyone have to observe. So again, it's up to you over here. But that's a good thing, but it's not necessarily a good thing. It can be a bad one too. So risk and opportunities.
Thank you very much. The last questions for this given team is what can be the difference? Is there any difference between the nation of citizenship at the United States of America there and here in Africa, according to what you remark during your dwelling here?
Yeah, of course. Different countries have different values, including political values, political beliefs. So it's not surprising to say that, of course, to be a citizen here in Togo is very different from being a citizen, let's say, in the U.S. As I said before, joining the armed forces is one of them. Protesting on the street, getting violent, shooting and all that, or putting the opposition in prison, that is another one. But again, I think that there's a different context, a different environment that you have to judge from that context. It's not fair for me to use the American standard to judge you. It's also not fair to use the Togolese standard to judge Americans. You understand me? So you have to understand that something is relative over here, but on the other side, there are also a lot of things in common among many of them, regardless of who you are. So I have to be very careful over here not to use the golden standard, in this case the American standard, and say, oh, you must observe that. I don't believe in any golden standard in this case.
I see. Thank you very much. Dear listeners of Radio Centrale FM, as you just come to see, we have been accompanied on this plateau. I was your servitor Abdel Ourosama. I receive my guest, Dr. Peter Baofu, I think, and he has been around the world. He was coming from United States of America with a lot of theories with him. As you yourself, you just come to see, just share them with us. So we have been very thankful for you, for your patience, and thanks a lot. We hope we shall see next time. Thank you and bye-bye.